I'm Joshua. I run the Horror Depot, and I put this together with Michael, and I'm super grateful that you guys came out and supported his film. It's a passion of mine to get independent films shown, and especially local films. So we did one showing in Rhode Island, well, right over the border of Rhode Island. That was amazing.
Seekonk, yeah.
Yeah, and then they had asked me to hook something up here, so I did, and I can't thank you guys enough for coming. But anyway, I'm going to turn it all over to them and let them take it away from here. So if you guys do have questions,
Get up here,
David
Bobby.
True form. Bobby!
Real smooth.
smooth.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah, so.
Watch that step right there.
Yeah, watch out.
Right there, yeah, that one. That's what I was
Oh
talking
my
about.
God.
That's why I said, Bobby,
Breaking stuff.
Jasper shit.
So to piggyback Josh, I just want to thank you guys for coming. It's really great to be able to show this on the big screen again. This movie hits different on the big screen and plays really well in the theater, and I'm glad we had some people come out. There was a few crew members that came that didn't get to see it before in the Seekonk screening. I'm glad they got to see it, but I will hand it over to you. If anyone has questions, please feel free. You don't have to make this a long thing at all. Oh, there's someone in the back.
I guess I'll save my questions and everybody else can go.
Yeah. Sharon.
I got this over here for Josh.
Yeah, so first of all, I think the film was pretty fantastic. I mean, it keeps you completely and 100% genuinely on the edge of your seat. Nothing about it seemed put on.
Oh,
The acting was amazing. All of you guys were, I've seen it before, like years ago, and I was like, Jesus Christ, David, you were amazing. But all of you.
I get that a lot.
Not,
She talking about you?
not just everybody. I mean, the film itself was really, I'm so impressed, and I'm really surprised and curious where you went with it in terms of like the festival circuit, if it has any streaming capacity, because it's a really beautiful work. I'm so impressed.
Thank you. It is streaming currently. We released in January to VOD, and it's currently on Amazon, Tubi, Vudu, and there might be another one that I can't think of. But
And somebody put it on Yahoo or whatever that is.
YouTube.
YouTube now.
Yeah, it's been pirated already, which is, I guess, flattering.
nice.
Yeah.
That's how you know you made it.
Yeah, exactly. But we released, basically our premiere was through the Rhode Island International Film Festival back in 2020, I think, or 21, I can't remember. But it was during the pandemic. We ended up screening at a drive-in, which was fun, but we didn't have a great turnout, and it rained that night.
Kind of like tonight.
Yeah,
Rainy night.
yeah. But we're indoors, and it just I wanted to have a proper traditional red carpet premiere, and that's why we did the one back in May in Seekonk, and then we had a number of people, all Dave's friends, that said they couldn't make it and wanted us to do one in Boston, so we did one in Boston.
And a lot of you showed up.
Yeah, or North Boston. Yeah. But yeah, it is currently streaming, but this is probably going to be the last theatrical screening we do. Yeah, it's time to move on. We need to do more.
Our horror friend is like, no, we're going to see that next.
I don't know. We'll see.
Right?
I should do one for the New Hampshire folks.
Oh, yeah.
Since we shot up there, yeah.
Promise them that.
Yeah.
Manchester,
Come on,
Connecticut.
guy.
Haven't seen anything in a while.
I know where we can stay in a cabin up there.
Yeah. Would you say, Dave?
I said, gee, Manchester, Connecticut hasn't seen anything cool in a while.
Starting from David on, favorite shot in the movie that you did?
It was my butt shot, obviously. Did you see my ass?
I see that ass shot. Is that what you held it up?
It's gotten bigger.
Yeah.
It's like my fucking ego after this, right? Favorite shot? I don't know, man. Where do you begin? I knew this question was coming.
Let's ask the DP.
Yeah, let's ask the crew.
Josh Seahack in the audience here.
Josh is here. Everybody didn't know.
Director of
Stand
photography.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josh, what's your favorite shot?
Director of photography, Josh.
I love the scene that me and Mark did. That was just
Mark Green, why don't you stand up? Our director's here. I guess
where
not.
we just shot it from far away. And it was
Skater lane.
when you guys were in the cars and stopped and you had a fight, and you put them up against the hood.
Oh, yeah.
How'd it came out? That felt good.
Yeah,
That was a good bit.
yeah. The big wide that.
Now that I have the
Carried through the whole
DP here,
scene.
what was your actual favorite shot that you did?
Oh, that was that one. That one there. Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that long kind of
And so, I'm a favorite.
You guys go ahead.
What was the question?
Favorite
Favorite
shot?
shot.
Oh, yeah, favorite shot.
You could say a favorite scene, I guess, for you. Favorite
If I
moment,
said the
favorite-
scene where I was drinking the wine, that would be creepy, right?
That's creepy as a scene with you.
I liked my scene with you. I was frightened, though. I was nervous that day.
Yeah, me too.
Why? I didn't want to meet her the day before. I'm like, I don't want to
I
meet her.
know.
But she was at the campfire.
You do.
Favorite scene. God. The first day, Rye Guy and I talk about this.
Mhm.
When the car was broken down, that was our first day of shooting. That was just like
Yeah.
something special that day.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes. I think the acting is pretty spot on. You really nailed it in that scene. There's a lot going on. It's a tough one. With all the characters there, all 4 characters are there together, and but I feel like it plays really well. I like a lot of the scenes where there's a little bit of improv in there that were kind of, like the campfire bit.
Campfire was fun.
Yeah.
It was the campfire.
When Sean is trying to get us out of there, and you're like,
Let's get that fire.
yeah, let's get that fire going.
That was
It's fun. So. Oh, there's.
He's dead though, so we have to do a prequel.
Oh, I don't need to
Good
be
point though, because everyone's like, that was the whole point was. Kind of like Sean, it looked like I shot him in the head and then I became.
I'll be even more pissed off. That's great.
So I think one point was that Rye Guy wanted to make was, we don't know if I was eaten alive or if the police got there.
This is cool. You know
What is your thoughts?
Sequel.
Coyote got me. What else?
Joshua, you got someone back there?
Yeah, the best endings are the ones you gotta figure out yourself.
How many times did you guys have to throw the camera in the beginning of the movie at the sign?
Oh, I nailed it on the first try.
He did. First shot.
Oh, yeah.
Bye, guy.
Absolutely. I think I did, right? Yeah?
We had to because we only had one thing to break.
No, I had a couple cameras, but we nailed on the first one. Yeah.
Congratulations, all of you. That was very entertaining. Just wondering what inspired you, Michael, to write this. Is it based on anything that's happened? No, but in all honesty,
It's an
what-
autobiography.
Yeah. In all honesty, what drew you to write this?
I feel like this is so repetitive. I've said it so many times in writing in articles, but it all started with a location, my family's cabin in New Hampshire. My aunt and uncle are here tonight, and I always knew that they would be very supportive of me shooting a movie up there. And they have a lot of land, and not only the cabin, but they have a neighbor up the road who he owns the shittier of the 2 cabins. The cabinette,
Perfect
like
for
I
us.
call it, yeah.
Or apartment.
It was actually an abandoned cabin. He didn't live there anymore. But I've always loved true crime shows, and we kind of, I'd been influenced by a couple particular episodes of true crime shows and
Under the influence.
yeah. But basically, the location was the main inspiration, and kind of just wanted to create a story that I knew we could do within our means. Something I knew was going to be low budget, so I was, wrote something that was going to be a small cast, but I knew we could bring people up there and house them and shoot something that, I wanted to think was going to be simple. It wasn't simple. It was a really tight schedule, and it was a challenge, but I think everyone really nailed it.
Weather played an issue too. We had rain, we had snow.
Oh yeah, we had every element there was. It snowed at one point, yeah.
The hot tub scene.
The hot tub
was so
scene.
cool.
The hot tub, you can tell when you watch it that it was raining, but it actually snowed at one
At the end, when we walk
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Did you see what I was telling you guys about? Did you see what I was asking you guys
No,
about?
I was
You
looking
saw
for
what
it. I was looking for
you
it.
didn't see that?
I didn't see the shiver.
Ah.
Yeah.
So if you look close enough, when it actually comes, I thought it was over the girl, that's actually over the guy. One of them, you see them shiver when they're supposed to be in a hot tub. And that's because you explained that, what it was, you guys had to refill
So
that thing, and it wasn't quite hot?
No, well, what happened was we filmed the scene where the guy loses his cookies, lightweight, and so we had to drain the hot tub. So we had to fill the hot tub with cold water an hour before we filmed. So yeah.
Well, the hot tub was warm, but it was cold outside and it was raining.
Wasn't that
We were sitting in it for a while, setting up new shots and in between
It wasn't hot
takes.
tub. It was like bathtub.
Yeah.
The ocean was cold, I'm telling you.
Yes.
I got a question now. So, what was the significance with the coyotes? And also a second question, how many squats did you do, David, to get your ass like that with that moonlight shot?
I'll let you take that one first.
The coyotes, if you saw throughout the whole thing, we
No, you answer the question about the squats.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage.
Break out your dollars.
No, I don't work out. I have a strange workout routine. I work out 5 to 6 times a week religiously for a month and a half, and then I take 25 years off to rest, which is nice. It's in my act, actually. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's not a big one, but it's...
So the coyotes.
Thank you for setting me right, guy.
Yeah. So the coyotes, we had discovered that we had these fake coyotes nearby on a neighbor's property, and I had always I had this coyote theme in my head when writing the film, because I just always envisioned that Bobby and Ryan were coyotes, basically, and there was a lot of kind of just wild animal tones throughout the film, where we have the couple that are these kind of like civilized people, and then Bobby and Ryan were the wild animals. And so when we discovered these fake coyotes on the property, I just wanted to incorporate them. I thought it could add to this kind of really just eerie tone, eerie feel. I don't think I really got to utilize them as much as I wanted to. We made it work, but I wanted to have some real kind of creepy Hitchcock feel to it with the coyotes, and
Didn't quite get there?
Yeah, I think I wished I had more coverage of them or more coyote themes throughout, but
I have a question about the coyotes.
Yeah.
Was that written, the whole fact about coyotes, like one going out playing with the dog and then...
yeah.
That's,
So-
that's real?
Well, I had read that it was real, and then I also read that it was a myth. So I don't really know if it's actually true about coyotes or not, but I have read multiple articles, and that's where I took that from. I thought it was real. That they will, like, one will break away from the pack, and if they find any kind of animal, it doesn't have to be necessarily a domestic dog or whatever, but that they'll kind of like play around with it and lure it back to its pack, so they can, yeah.
So, my friend spotted some foreshadowing with the coyotes early on. She was like, the coyotes, right? Plus you saw the picture in the cabin with me sitting under it. With the
Yeah.
coyote. We were howling throughout, you know, multiple stories about the coyote, you know. Yeah.
You're a predator.
I'm a predator. I am. And I'm not allowed to be around children.
Thank you. Next question. Moving on.
Anymore since that movie.
That's why the 15-year-old was actually 20.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's not a minor.
I'm just curious if, Michael, if you and David had worked together previously, or you were put together through casting, or what the deal was. Because I know some of the cast, like my daughter and Mo, cast the parts, but did you two work together previously?
No, I did not know Mr. Pridemore.
All right, are you
Yeah.
gonna do a Mice and Men next, the two of you together? Would that work?
We could,
I know,
sure.
I feel like it's similar.
Of Mice and Men?
Yeah, like
Well, yeah, I mean, that kind of dynamic between the two, definitely, yeah.
less innocent.
Yeah. But no, so Pridemore came to audition, yeah, and Mulhall, she was a producer on the film, but she also runs LDI casting. She helped us cast the film. And so we held auditions. I had always envisioned someone completely different physically for Bobby. And then this guy walked in and he just blew us away.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Stop.
Jesus, so inappropriate. No, he was great. He killed it at the audition, and he proved to me that you don't have to be a big guy to be scary. You can be
A fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
Untreated.
I was like, I think he was actually in prison.
Been arrested quite a few times. I'll leave it at that. That's a different support group, I think.
So, did you guys have any other alternate endings that you wanted to do or anything like that?
Kind of, yeah. We had joked around with not necessarily alternate endings as far as what happens to him, but a lot of changes were made to the Ro and Sean characters. We had to make a lot of cuts in the film. You know, I mean, that's just kind of typical.
You got 9 hours of film, you gotta cut it down
yeah,
to an hour.
it's the nature of the beast that things are gonna hit the chopping block. And we kind of shifted gears. Originally in the script, it was much more of a parallel with Ro and Sean and Bobby and Ryan, and it was more of a balance. And then we ended up kind of making the focus more on the criminals, because their storyline just seemed to be more interesting. But with the Ro and Sean storyline, we had toyed with the idea of really kind of making it almost more comical, because their relationship was so rocky and Sean was such a pussy, you know, throughout. Yeah, and a lot of people thought she was a bitch. Yeah, so.
He was a putz though. I want to wring his neck.
Yeah. So we had toyed with the idea of at the very end, and when they're in the car together after he calls 911 and they're driving away, of them kind of looking at each other and saying, "You want to get a divorce?" Oh, okay, cool. You know, like they were just like gonna be okay with breaking up because they clearly aren't meant to be together. You know.
I suggested that they say, I think we should sell the cabin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what we ended up going with. Yeah. Yes. No, someone else, please.
Sharon. Yell it out, Sharon.
You guys gave such great performances, and seeing it like sort of on a smaller screen and then seeing it on the big screen twice, I've just picked up so much more like nuances of what you guys both did. And so my question is like, you both as actors, like what are your process? What's your process like? And what was it like on this film? Because I know you guys are both like very lighthearted people, but you tackle some like really heavy lifting scenes in this film. And just like, what was that like? Were you keeping it sort of bubbling in between takes? Were you just sort of, you flip a switch and go? Were you just said like there was some improvisation happening, so I was just curious how that all fit together.
Little ad-libbing here and there. Well, when we were shooting in New Hampshire, Pridemore made me stay up super late at night to run lines with him all the time. And we did really connect that way, and because like I said, I didn't know him prior to the shooting, and so we definitely bonded. But you know, because stupid me also was directing and producing this thing, I would find myself up at 3:30 in the morning when we had a call time of like 7, and like, I gotta go to bed, man.
Well, no, he wrote it, but he hadn't read it because he was doing 100 different things. He's like, I don't even know what scene.
Yeah, I needed to memorize my lines, so yeah, we would run it together, and I mean, I don't know, I feel like we just clicked and had a good chemistry, and you know, I tried to keep it loose when we were shooting. You know, I wasn't one of those directors that was like, this is, you know, my words. You know, like I tried to make it open as long as we were, you know, hitting the scene, beginning, middle, and end, what we were trying to get. But I felt like we pretty much did end up sticking with the script, mostly. I mean, we added little things in here and there to make it more natural, but we kind of just clicked, right? I don't know, what do you think?
I think I looked down the lens of the camera at one point and realized that I'm fucking insane. And I basically
He wasn't acting, folks.
I showed up and winged it.
That was him.
Winging it.
So I'd like to ask the same question to Scout, because she played such a vulnerable young character. And let's face it, it was kind of creepy when he was like all over you. And how did you prepare for that?
She had mace.
Yes, yeah, no, I took a self-defense class. No, I don't know. I mean, obviously it was a very safe set, and they made sure I felt very comfortable, as comfortable as you can get with sitting on this guy's lap. But yeah, I mean, it was a very safe environment, and I just kind of did my thing. You know, I was saying even the scene with Ro, like it depicts, I feel like, that situation very well. Like, and yeah, I don't know how one prepares for it, just kind of wing it.
We had a bunch of pros on the set. Everyone was so
absolutely
good. Like, there was no real like, all right, you could do this, you know, like, let's get into this mindset. Like, people just came in and delivered. It was, I felt like that wasn't so much a process.
You guys prepare for the last scene?
The lap scene. How did you prepare for the lap scene?
Lap scene.
He didn't want to meet me. I showed up to the bonfire. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I'm weird, I think.
I mean, yeah, Pridemore is a little method. You know, there was some stuff on set where he was kind of like pacing around, screaming and shit, and, you know, had to do his own thing. And so we kind of just, you know, let him have his
There's some
moment.
behind-the-scenes camera work, I think, that they caught me, like, skipping around, singing to myself to be a lunatic. I don't know.
Alright, so I hate to do this to you, but who finds the dog and ties it to the chair?
It's supposed to be Ryan. Yeah. Yeah.
That was it.
No problem.
Scout had an extra scene almost at the end there.
Yeah.
Penning for your thoughts. I think that's what he was trying to get out of you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what I said, and then what are you doing? that is straight too far from the script.
So, I know, great job, by the way. I did watch it prior, not on the big screen. It is definitely better on the big screen, so thank you for inviting me once again. But would you say, like, I tried to do some directing myself, and I couldn't really find like a niche of what I wanted to do for like my brand as like a director. Would you say that this is going to be like a recurring theme for you with like future films? I know you're wanting to do more projects and stuff. Do you think you find this is more your brand, or are you going to try to branch out more and do like different creative aspects and kind of find something else?
I mean, I love the thriller genre, but I think and I feel this way as an actor too, that I would like to be as versatile as possible, and so I would like to do a drama, I'd like to do a comedy, I'd like to do a horror. I do see myself kind of leaning towards a particular style. I definitely tend to prefer the more realistic tone, and I like long takes, and I like wide shots, and it's the theater background in me, I guess. But I definitely would like to dabble in all different genres.
One scene that I thought we might have mentioned was the scene where the two cars are pulled over and I assault you.
Mm-hmm.
And we shot that from across the street. Mark, was it like a specific lens? It was one take, yeah. It was just a longer lens.
Yeah.
I thought it was like an interesting choice, though, like he wanted to create distance.
Yeah.
I don't know, I brought that up. Thank you.
Well,
So I screwed your name up, Mark.
I pictured that scene being, we didn't do this, this is just, the filmmaking process, especially when it's low budget and it's a really tight schedule, and it didn't, everything didn't go as originally planned, but I had wanted to have this kind of voyeuristic feeling throughout the film, where we had these really long shots, not necessarily, it didn't necessarily have to be where we didn't cut, but I wanted long moments in scenes where there was like just that uncomfortable, awkward feeling, where you don't know what's going to happen next, but something's going to happen, and I wanted, to really push that kind of fly on the wall feeling for the audience, so I felt like that particular scene that you brought up really worked with just staying wide from across the street. It's like, passing a car accident on the side of the road.
Anybody does that, because there's usually close-ups, there's usually over the shoulders, two shots, all this other stuff, but there was a lot of, the more I saw that, there was a lot of interesting angles and stuff, guys. Good job.
Yeah.
I love the little humor bits throughout the movie too.
Yeah, did you guys
Even
find
after
the
like
comedy?
he just massacre a family, he's like, you didn't even tell them my name.
Oh, I know.
It's dark as it gets, like there's still those funny moments.
You gotta have that, because that's
life.
real, that's life, yeah. It's natural.
Especially when...
One back here, next to Sean over here. Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
First of all, I just got to say, a lot of people spend their entire careers doing music videos, commercials, videos, and the thing I hear the most is, we got to make a movie one day, but they never do it. They call themselves filmmakers. So first of all, you made a movie, good or bad. Like, I commend you just on making a movie, because that is insanely hard to do. So just well done on making an actual movie, not just a movie, but a quality movie. Like, that was very watchable. So props to that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It means a lot. Appreciate it.
I know this is a cocky thing to say, but Sean told me to say it. I'm also a director. I know how insanely hard it is just in the pre-production phase, just deciding what genre you're going to stick in, and then writing to it or directing to it, especially if that's horror. Did you ever have a moment during pre-production or shooting phase where you were not sure if you're staying in the intended genre, or was there any struggle, like, this is a horror, we have to make sure that it stays a horror? Did that ever come up?
Yeah, it did. Because in my head, I had really wanted to stick with, thriller. Like, I didn't want people to think it was a horror, because I didn't want people to be disappointed, because it even goes all the way to when we got distribution for the film, where I can't remember if it's the sales agent or the distributor, but a trailer was made for the film by our distributor, and it was very just action based, and they picked all the action moments in the film and cut together this trailer, and it looked great, but that's not what the movie is. This movie is way more of a slow burn, almost drama in a way. I was really trying to originally push the suspense and almost have this more Hitchcockian feel to it, and it it is what it is. But I didn't want to. I just didn't want to sway people in one direction, audience wise, and make them think that they were getting into this really intense horror that had all this violence and blood and all these kills, when that's not what the movie is.
I tried to make it into a comedy at some point.
Yeah. Well, and like I said earlier, I like the realism feel of so I wanted to incorporate comedy in the script. I just felt like it added to the awkwardness and things like that, but I definitely didn't want it to, we made cuts in the film and did different things once we saw the rough cut to kind of like stay on track with the genre we were going for, because I didn't want it to be misconstrued, I guess.
You had enough footage to make it a comedy if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Sharon, did you have a question?
Well, I do. Actually, two of the questions were answered. First of all, I think, I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but
Scout.
you were great.
Scout, thank you so much.
What's your name? Sal?
Scout, like Girl Scout.
Scout, you were fantastic.
Thank you so much.
She looked really frightened, didn't she?
She was.
Thank you.
My second question was about the dog. My second question was also about the dog, but you guys answered it. My third question is, do you have anything planned? Like, have you started any new projects since this?
Yeah, we have, we haven't started shooting any new projects. I did a short film recently that's in a couple of festivals, but as far as the next feature, we have a couple of scripts, and we have been trying to find funding. It's a long process and it has been tough. We actually kind of put one script to the back burner because I think it deserves a larger budget, and we're in the process of writing another feature that I think we could do for much cheaper, that will be like a horror comedy, because we have a great location for it. So we're still writing that, but yeah, everything is in the very early stages right now, but I'm hoping to get something going soon.
What's the name of the short?
The short is called Time, Space, Motion, and Kissing. It's actually a play that I did with a theater company that I work with frequently, and it's a drama. It all takes place in a bar, and it was a great play. I just fell in love with it, and I asked the writer if I could turn it into a short film, and he gave me his blessing, and so we shot it in this bar, and to stay true to the theater piece, we did it all in one single take, and so it's like an 18-minute short film that kind of just like floats throughout this bar, and it's a really sweet, touching story. But yeah, we screened at the Shawnee Film Festival, and I think next weekend we're going to be at this film festival out of Boston, the Screaming Ostrich Film Festival. It's a small festival, but yeah, it's a nice little piece.
So another question for you. As the director, you always have a certain vision of what you want the work to become. Did that conflict once you were also acting in it? Because I know there's a lot of prep and a lot of writing and everything else that goes into it as a director and a writer. And then when you get into it, it can totally change once you're on the inside of the film as the actor. So did that affect the way you acted, the way you wanted the film to go, the direction you wanted it to go in?
Sure, just only because I would never wear that many hats on a production again. I totally regret directing it, and my preference on future films would be that I'm an actor and a producer, maybe the writer, but even the writing is not something that I need to be the one to do. But having to, it was unofficial, but I had some very trustworthy crew members, my first AD especially, on this film, that I kind of wanted to be my assistant director as well. We weren't necessarily calling it a co-direction film, but I can't direct myself, and I didn't want to direct myself. I think that's would not benefit the production, and so I made sure people were kind of looking over the decisions I was making, because I couldn't see everything. It's too much. I don't like seeing plays that have the actor, writer, and director all, that many, a person doing that many jobs. I just think something is going to be lacking. So, yeah, I wouldn't do that again.
So if your AD's here, how was it wrangling everybody? He's okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is my first AD, Mr. Mark Green, next to our DP, Josh. He was fantastic. I'm sorry. I know you didn't want to talk. I wasn't trying to bring you in.
Yeah, that was the AD, everybody.
Yeah.
Give him a round of applause, the AD. Did anybody else have anything before we wrap up?
Yeah, what's it always about? Tall, dark, and handsome. You know what I mean? It's never short, pale, and freckled. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, that's probably
Rodney Dangerfield.
Actually, we never got to what her favorite scene was. I mean, obviously,
Yes,
you
Gal.
relate a couple, but what was your actual favorite scene in the movie? We never circled back to you.
I think Penny's scenes are great. But no, I love the shot where you get out of the hot tub and you howl because you can see like the fog, like the smoke from like the cold, and I just think it's a very aesthetic shot. There's a lot of aesthetic shots throughout the movie, which I realized like this time around, which is very cool.
Every time I see it, I find some angles that I'm like,
Yeah,
wow.
even the drone shots were just great.
But yet not shivering in the hot tub like I showed you, you did. You'll see it next time.
I will. He's telling everyone, oh, it was fine. It wasn't. It was barely lukewarm.
I just remember being cold because we were sitting in there for a long time and it was raining and the rain was cold, but I felt like the hot tub was warm.
Why do you think I came up with the line, hey, Rye Guy, I can hold my breath for almost 30 seconds? I did another movie, and I got killed and I had to like go under the water.
Yeah.
Mother Android, it was,
Oh.
yeah, and it was, what was that? I don't know. this guy that wanted to get through the gate, and I get killed.
Spoiler
And
alert.
I lost a lead role in a movie because I had two things going on this week that really needed me, and this was a Miramax film. So then when it came out, you couldn't even see me. I was like a mile away, and I can't even use any of the footage. I'm like, oh, see how that worked out. Their loss.
Anybody else before we wrap up?
Once again, thank you everyone for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. It really means the world to have an audience seat again.
Last time, Rye Guy.
Yeah. Last time, Rye Guy. Yes. If you didn't get a T-shirt or a poster or anything, we got some outside, but other than that, yeah.
If you really like the movie, send we have a link tree. Go on to either one. All of our Facebooks, there's link trees.
Yeah.
Send the link to your friends and say you gotta check out this movie.
Share the wealth.
Also, guys, there's a Lifetime movie coming out this
Oh,
Thursday
yes, please.
that
Come on.
I have the role of Harper in, and it's with Jonathan Lipnicki. He was the really cute kid in Jerry Maguire. So
Yay!
that's this
He's all
Thursday.
grown up now.
And she's got a video that her boyfriend directed recently.
That's true. It's coming out Friday the 13th.
I got you.
Produced
I
now.
got you.
Thank you.
Thanks again, guys.